was 16.
Yeah, and Dr. Hideous said, fantastic opening try for Scholars coming from a foreman 40-20 and a further sustained pressure for the rest of the first 15 minutes. At that point, the game was called off because the referee was offended by Declan O'Donnell's haircut and nothing else happened. Scholars win 6-0. Oh, Dave.
Alternative histories. It finished Barrow 40, Keighley 18. That's a good win for Barrow. And it was Doncaster 30, Rochdale 22. So there's two games there that are probably, competitors for promotion, you'd think. So that's interesting results, those.
Yeah, and it leaves Workington and Barrow as the two from two sides. So it looks like the power in this division is in Cumbria this year.
Probably so. So it was the NRL Round 10 Magic Round. All the teams getting together.
And the refs were just sending out loads of greetings cards. Is that what it was to celebrate Magic Weekend? They were giving each other lots of greetings cards? Is that... No?
Honestly, it feels... We had this like a couple of years ago where there was a diktat to do, to cut down on offending, and the Storm were crap for a couple of weeks because they couldn't get up to their usual tricks, and then everyone's like, oh no, we don't want to do that anymore. So I fully expect it to go back to normal in a couple of weeks' time. But in terms of actual results,
overarching. Let's talk. I only watched like one game in full and two bits of games, sort of thing.
I've only seen highlights,
so I haven't seen all of the cards, but the ones I did see would have been cards in Super League. They were either direct, forcible contact to the head, might have been ones that would have been potentially, some of them might have been a yellow rather than a red, but they were direct and forcible, which we've talked about before. The Chris Hill one at the start of last year, that sort of thing, a red card. Or they were late and high, which we've seen with Zany Winehouse this year. They are cards. Maybe not all red cards, some yellow cards, but they're cards in what I've seen. So I don't know, unless there was a lot of softer ones outside of that were in the games I didn't watch. The outcry seems to me a bit over the top from the ones I saw.
There was definitely a couple. Again, I've only seen highlights.
There was a dangerous contact one, wasn't there, in the Canberra game as well, which was definitely a yellow card.
I've definitely seen a couple in the highlights packages that were a bit soft, and they're definitely, from my point of view, they're a result of the focus on it.
Right.
But you're right in that, it's a volume thing, isn't it? They've gone from very little punishment of that kind of thing to being incredibly hot on it, and people are just reacting to that difference.
Strange round to choose to do the crackdown before, when it's, a showpiece round.
Yes, potentially, yeah.
When you've got a lot of fans there and, you're hoping for entertaining games, you've just stoked a controversy with the way maybe they've gone about it. You would have thought it could have been brought in before the season if they were changing something. And like, you're saying there are some that did seem quite soft, so maybe there is, so the emphasis has been maybe overdone, potentially from that point of view. But ultimately, we need to be changing the techniques, don't we, of the players, that from causing us to have introduced things like the 18th man, for causing us to have to not have conversations like the Tom Johnstone one, even though I don't think all of that came from necessarily vicious assaults sort of thing. Stevie Ward, I don't remember him getting too many bad challenges on him, but he had to retire through concussion issues. But the game's dangerous enough, so we have to do something to stop poor technique making it more dangerous, like we had to do when we outlawed the shoulder charge. So if direct, forcible contact to the head's going to be a red card every time, I'm not that concerned about it. And they've got the bunker to come in and say, yeah, I agree, before the card's shown, maybe even, to give you that little bit of extra clarity. That's why it won't work the same over here. But as I said, the ones I saw would be cards over here already, and we've seen cards for those sort of tackles already this year.
Ultimately, I do think it's just there will be an adjustment period, and you will see a little bit more punishment of these kind of challenges that might be a little bit more like you would see in Super League. It won't continue in the same way because no referee intervention does. It never does. So yeah. Anyway, so in terms of the games themselves, it were finished West Tigers 36, the Knights 18, Sea Eagles, who are a bit on a tear at the moment, 50, the Broncos 6. Farnworth played and made 141 metres with 5 tackle busts.
Different kind of tear for the Broncos, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tearing a new arsehole.
It finished the Bulldogs 18, the Raiders 20. Luke Thompson for the Bulldogs, 170 metres and 43 tackles. And Williams, Whitehead and Hodgson played for the Raiders, just getting over the top of the Bulldogs. It was Sharks 22, Rabbitohs 32, Burgess with 163 metres.
Alan Walker said, Benji wears a white rabbit. He's 10 feet tall like Alice. Benji's the oldest in the league when the game's never been faster. Glory, glory.
Yeah, I mean, don't get too excited. You got absolutely pulverised the week before. It was
and
Roosters 30.
Your metronome next year.
Yeah. Roosters 30, Warriors 18, Eels 34, Storm 44, Dragons 18, and Titans 12, Panthers, the Pink Panthers 48.
Yeah. Panthers, who didn't seem to be bothered by the card situation because they went and scored 2 tries when they were down a man. So, yeah. And then didn't concede when they were 2 men down. So,
yeah.
In the standings, Panthers remain perfect, 10 from 10. Eels are on 18 points in second, with Storm and Rabbitohs making up the top 4 on 16. Roosters have 14 points, with Dragons and Sea Eagles on 10 points. The Raiders have bounced back to 8th, leading a group of 5 on 8 points. That includes the Titans, Warriors, Knights and Cowboys. If ever there was a group of inconsistency, that was that. West Tigers are on 6 points. Sharks and Broncos stay on 4, with the Bulldogs bottom on just 2 points. We also had a fan viewing from another game outside of our normal conversations from Dr. Hideous, which is Red Star 30, Dorcol Tigers 22. And Dave said, really good, keenly contested match. Red Star were rampant and went a point a minute for the first quarter, but Dorcol came back to save their blushes and looked the better side at the beginning of the second half. Final score was a fair reflection of the game, amused at the physios occasionally coming on and just standing next to a down player until he got up. Serbian hospitality. That's that. Good stuff. Thanks for that, Dave.
Yeah.
Let's make our predictions.
Let's make our guesses. Yeah.
Right, Alan, it's round 7 of the Super League coming up this weekend, and we have to wait all the way till Saturday, unusually but understandably, for the action. So it's all Saturday and Sunday. Starting off on Saturday with Salford versus Wigan, available on the R League, and for the Salford fans that can get to the game. I think Salford are more competitive when they've got Dan Sargentson playing, and he won't be playing with his ban. I think they'll just fade in this one, and Wigan will do what they've done and win the second half, so win by 10 points.
I can't go against that as logic. Wigan are a better side than Salford, so Wigan by 16 for me.
Okie dokie. Following that, 3 o'clock on Saturday, Warrington get a second chance to satisfy their hometown faithful, hosting their future coach and the Castleford Tigers in a warm-up for the Challenge Cup semi-final.
This is a really tricky one.
We don't even have like the excuse afterwards that we went with form or we were too swayed by the match the weekend before, because both of them lost.
I've changed my mind.
Both of them being good.
Yeah, I've changed my mind twice on this one. I'm going to go with Wire, but not by much. Wire by 2.
Do you know, I've gone Wire by 4, but I could easily say Cast by 4 as well. Let's come back round to that one, and if we've got the same on every other game, I'm going to change that one, but if we haven't, then I'll keep it at Wire by 4. Surely Warrington have got enough quality in that side to perform more consistently than they have been doing. And, maybe if they just pretend it's Catalans, not Castleford they're playing, they'll have a solid performance and a win. Let's see.
We'll see. Yeah.
Sky cameras, someone's cameras will be beamed over to here for us to watch it on Sky. 5 o'clock Saturday, Catalans hosting St Helens. I want to see a way that Catalans can win this, but I just think St Helens are consistent and ruthless, whereas Catalans are a little bit up and down and hard to get your head around, like you were saying yourself when we did the fan reviews. And I just think I can't see Catalans sustaining a game long enough to beat this Saints side that just keep going. So Saints by 12 for me.
Everything says that Saints should win this one quite comfortably. Defensively, incredibly strong. But just for shits and giggles, I'm going to go for Catalan by 6.
Fair enough. Wire it is then. Moving on to Sunday, the first of two 3 p.m. kickoffs is Wakefield hosting an in-form Hull KR. I'll let you get first dibs on this one.
I think you've picked it out very well. KR are in form. Wakefield can't buy a win. It's KR for me. KR by 10.
I'm going Wakey. I'm going to give them a second chance after they let me down when I picked them to beat Leeds. I'm going to give them a second chance. I just feel like it has all the feeling of a game they need to win. One thing they've got in their favour is a full 3 days more preparation for the match.
That's true.
Which I think hopefully will help them get some organisation with what they've got that's fit. Maybe get a couple of players back in too to bolster things. And I don't think they lack heart after the last couple of games that I've seen them play. And I think if they can just translate that to slightly fewer mistakes, they've got a win in them against a side that can be erratic. I'm going Wakey. Wakey by 2. To cling on. The other 3 o'clock kickoff on Sunday is Lee versus the Huddersfield Giants. Huddersfield have kicked back into gear. It was kind of initiated by the cup game against Lee, and I think this game will go a similar way to that game. Lee will be feisty and competitive, but Huddersfield will just find some quality in the final stages. I'm going to say Huddersfield by 14.
Huddersfield beat Lee easily in the cup, as you said, and they weren't playing well at that point. Huddersfield have shown a little bit of form, so Huddersfield comfortable by Huddersfield by 14.
And then the second Sky game, 7:30 p.m. on Sunday night, is Leeds versus Hull FC. Now, Leeds have been talking for about 3 weeks about players they're going to get back, and it seems like they've all been talking about getting them back for this game, but it's mostly guys who've been banned, isn't it? Richie Myler and Zany Winehouse are going to be back in the side. Will that be enough, Alan?
No, Leeds have been shit this year. Absolute dog shit. Hull FC have not. They've been considerably better than that. FC quite comfortably for me. FC by 12.
Yeah, I think conversely what I said in the Wakefield Hull KR game, I actually think Hull having a very disappointing outing on their home return with fans, they'll need a short turnaround to forget about that, and they're going to a Leeds side that just are not working for whatever reason. So Hull are the better side right now, and they have to win this game for me. Hull by 10.
Yep.
Okay, so we've gone different twice there, so, interesting. Championship game of the week. I think we have to go heavy woolen, don't we? Batley versus Dewsbury. Kind of both had decent-ish starts to the year.
They both hit a bit of a rough patch in form. Yeah, always a big game. Always a big game round our way. So
and in front